Hey, what's going on? I'm Joey from Kissing Candice. We're here at Rockstar Mayhem Fest, and you're watching PureGrainAudio. Worst venue, it would have to be in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, called Mr. Roboto. And it's like it's a store. It's like a storefront that the guy squats in. And I guess he throws shows in the back, or he lets other promoters, because the guy wasn't a promoter that books a show there. I would have to say that half the PA system was worse than the Marshall. It was actual like old like Bose stereo speaker amps that he had with like other random PV amps that it looks like he got from like garage sales. So that was the PA system. The venue itself, he had books that he must have got from Goodwill that lined like the one side of the venue, and on the other side of it was all his bedding and his dressers. So we set up merch in front of that, and I remember my cousin, we call him the Ape, he was sitting there like leaning like on the books like this, and the guy's like, yo, that's stuff in my bedroom, don't touch that. My cousin's like, your bedroom? He's like, this is like the venue. There was only maybe 20 or 30 people that actually showed up. So then we go down the steps to the guy's bathroom, and it was like the worst bathroom you could ever think of. There was no door. The toilet was all the way to the back of the room. It was like flooded with like this much muck. It wasn't even water, it was like muck. It was like you walked in and you had to like almost like, you know, tiptoe. It smelled like just feast, like human, like someone was just shitting on the floor instead of like shitting in the toilet. So yeah, it was just the worst sound. We had the worst time. And I remember after we left, my cousin, he called him and he's like, yo, your venue, like left like a message, like a funny voice, like, yo, your fucking venue sucks. Good luck with that bathroom down there. It looks like something of the Saw movie where you would chain someone to the fucking toilet. Like, you know, good luck getting fucking hepatitis walking through. Like, he just went on like this fucking rant. But that had to be the absolute worst venue that Kissing Candice has ever played. I would have to say one of our first shows ever was, as a band, as Kissing Candice, was at Knotfest. It was the first 2 days of Knotfest ever. And we had Sid and a couple other guys from Slipknot actually hanging outside stage watching us. And I just remember seeing them just kind of hanging out watching. It's just like, okay, these guys are actually going to watch our set. Like, this is so nerve-wracking. I mean, Slipknot's my favorite band in the entire world. So seeing these guys just hanging out on the side, I'm just like sweating. I remember like, I'm like, fuck, did I warm my voice? Like, I couldn't even remember. I was just so nervous. But like once we walked out, it was fine. But that initial build-up, I was just like, okay, I can't handle this. Like, this is crazy. But yeah, I'd have to say I was pretty fucking nervous. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that Rockstar Mayhem Fest is amazing. They switched up the catering. Usually, I think they have a catering company called Tada, I think it is, and they're fucking amazing. But this tour, they've been getting like local catering, and we've had a couple of days where the food I thought was like dog food. Like it tasted and it even smelled and had the consistency of like a dog food or a cat food. So I love Rockstar. I still ate it. I'm not complaining, but it's just like, if I had to say the worst food so far, it would be on this tour. Oh my God. Okay, well, we have a name for when the van starts getting, we're not up to bus level yet. We're still in a van, 15 passenger. We call it a paste. We say it smells very pasty in there because it's a smell, but it's such a thick smell that it almost like just covers you like a paste. I'm gonna want to say it smells like a combination of piss, because all of us have learned to master to piss in bottles while driving. So we have like a little hint of piss. We have a lot of sweat. We have a lot of feet smell. Grippo, our bass player, his feet smell like you have like 2 rotting hams that he keeps in shoes in the sun. And just a combination of like, just like who was eating like gross, like, you know, Subway sandwich, and it just lingers in there. And then we get done playing and we get in and it was just sitting in the van all day. So it's a nice combination of everything, but we just call it a paste. Like, wow, it's pasty. Like, we cleaned out the van yesterday before we crossed the border. I guarantee you by tomorrow, somebody will be like, yo, it's pasty in here. And it's just what it is. It's bad. Like, it could get really bad. Oh yeah, actually I want to call him a driver. Well, he was hired as our driver, and he is He's not a driver. He's just a sleeper and eat catering all day. That's what he does. I wouldn't necessarily say asshole, but he's an asshole because he's like, oh yeah, you know, driving. Like I could do 6 hour, 7 hour drives. He'll drive for 2 hours, 3 hours, and then he's like, oh, I gotta pull over. And like sometimes a 4 or 5 hour drive will take us 8 hours because he just keeps stopping. That, you know, he's doing 70, 80 miles an hour. We're trying to sleep and he's just like, so he's an asshole because you don't do that. Or I'm like, Chris, his name is Chris, back the van up with the trailer. All of a sudden he's backing up and like something's wrong, that he's not like, you know, maneuvering. I turn and look out the side and I see the trailer on this, like he's fucking jackknifing, but he's still going straight back. It's like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you have to turn. Oh, yeah, I was gonna do that. I said, the trailer's on the side of the fucking van. Like, how do you? So he's an asshole. So now I do a lot of the driving. I let him drive like an hour or two. And then he just lays and sleeps and he gets up and he's like, oh yeah, catering was good. I'm still unloading the trailer. He's like, got food on the side of his face to like, oh, catering was good. So he's an asshole. He's probably doing something right now that he's not supposed to be doing. We get a lot of girls that just think that they could score merch by being pretty. Oh, come on, pretty. It's like, listen, I get that all day. You know, you're not pretty. You know, I'm sorry. Actually, in Milwaukee, some guy wanted us to carve KC in his chest. He was like, we're like, well, we have a tattoo gun. We give amateur tattoos. You know, we destroy each other's bodies. He's like, no, carve it. He's like, come on, hook it up. He's like, just carve it in my chest. I'm like, no, dude. Like, we're not carving anything in your chest. We've had people offer us like different sorts of drugs and things like that for free merch. But I'd have to say that guy was pretty intense, that he wanted stuff. And he's like, I'll let you carve KC in my chest. Like, I'm not doing that. We're not going to get on Lamb Goat tomorrow for, you know, carving shit into your fucking chest. Then we'll be like a satanic ritual band or something. You know, that'll be the headline. So, yeah. It was the Crysta Tour. We played, I think it was Pops in St. Louis. It was like right on the border of Illinois. But it's in like this industrial area where it's like the venue is open 24 hours. And then the strip club's open 24 hours. And then there's a gas station with an OTB, off-track betting, whatever, that's open 24 hours. So you could gamble, go to a strip club, and then go to the venue. And I remember they all went over to the strip club, and they were saying that it was just like the worst-looking girls. Like all of them had like C-sections, and like, you know, looks like they were like 500 pounds, and they lost it all. They just had saggy skin. They had like a big mechanical dick that you could ride that they all took a picture. And they were all like, you know, drinking. And they were all like, oh, it was the worst thing, but we had such a good time. Like, You're sitting here telling me that these girls are ugly. Why the fuck would I want to go to something like that? Like, they had like an air guitar contest, who could play like the best air guitar. It was like they were just improvising things to keep people there. So I would have to say that what they described seemed like a good time, but for me, I would have just walked in and walked out. So it was a strip club. I forget the name of it, but it was by the venue Pops. Anybody that's played there knows that those three places are in like a huge parking lot, and it's like a little like city within itself because everybody just goes from one place to another. So